and I that some of you were actually talking about the vocab, that you're finding it difficult to understand. That was very nice, because this is one of the points that we highlighted. So it's really, really good. And the questions you were answering, I think that was in room 3, 4, and I think 6 were trying to solve and checking if the answers are correct or not, or if the other answer is more suitable. So some of you were actually really communicating very well. And I think in room 3, no, in room 4, when I rejoined, they were talking about the strategies they use with the students and the skills and the tips they would ask the students, and I heard some very nice idea. Room 9, okay, yes, room 9 actually also I heard very nice strategies and discussions. So most of you actually, I was happy when I joined, and even when I stayed a while and the room was silent, but I understood that you were just having time to read. So thank you very much for sharing the activity, and I'm sorry for the interruption that happened. And just tell me, so you were saying that it was easier than the first one. Yes, now would you like, let's go out first to check the answers, and then we will discuss the, as we said, the strategies and if the text was different or not. So let's go through the first question. Ms. Hebe, can you please move the slide to the one with the question? It's the not the one the one with the questions. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have here the questions. Okay, let's see. Apart from pollinating crops, how else do bees help us? Okay, what were your answers? Okay, let's check. Miss Amani, D. Okay, Miss Maisa, okay, number 7, D. Miss Basma, D, D, D. Yes, very good. And as you see, this was all of them. Yes, Miss Gheda, thank you very much. As you see, this was an easy question because it was actually written just as we read it, economically, culturally, ecologically, it's all of them. Okay, that was an easy question. Okay, the second question. Okay, why has the variety of flowers available for bees to pollinate fallen? I heard in one of the rooms they were discussing what is the meaning of pollinate. Okay, in Arabic يعني the bees when they go to the flowers and pollinate. Okay, okay, what were your answers? Okay, I see. We have here B. Some of you said C. Okay, someone said any answer, so we have B and C, right? Okay, any other answers? D, C, D, B, C, D. Okay, so we have we don't have agreement here. Okay, B, C, D. Okay, for those who said B, can you tell me on which part of the passage did you base your answer? Okay, for those who answered B, which is less hedges, which part? Okay, just tell me even, let's see, we have the text here in front of me. Okay. You use the part that had less hedges, and you guess that this is the correct answer. Okay, so those who chose C, right? We have others who chose C. Okay, which is fertilizers, right? This you comprehended D. We have someone who said D, urban development, right? Okay, I'll ask you to read the part of the passage that, let's see. It's widely recognized that the changes in agriculture are the main cause of bee decline across Europe. And the one before it, yes. Okay, the direct reason was monocrop farming. Excellent, Mr. Islam. Yes, very good. So we have Mr. Islam here. Yes, it was monocrop farming. And this is actually leads us to the correct answer, which is neither A, neither B, nor C, nor D. It's actually A. It's a conservation measures that they took. And this is actually, like some of you said, it might seem easy, but it's actually testing our comprehension. Okay, if you reread through the passage, you would realize that it's not mentioned directly, but the measures that were used were conservation measures, okay, to limit something. So this is actually what caused the variety of flowers available for bees to pollinate, the percentage has fallen. So like you said, you thought the question was easy, but actually it was not. Okay, the next question, Dr. Hebe, can you please move to the next slide, please? We have, or we solved 7 and 8, right? This is the next slide, please. Okay, let me read the next question. For the question number 8, there are many reasons for the decline in bees, but what is one of the major reasons for shrinking numbers of native honeybees? One of the rooms, I think we're having thorough discussion about this question. So what were your answer? A, B, C, D. Okay, let me check. What did you answer for question number 9? Okay, so I haven't got. What did you answer question number 9? A, B, C, D. Varroa mites, spill over, manage bees, hard to assess. Can you please tell me your answer? Okay, let me check. Mr. Ahmad, Miss Amani says A. Okay, who else? Who else? Come on. Okay, anyone has a different answer? A, Mr. Islam. Okay. Who else? Okay, D. We have Miss Rawat says D. Okay. Who else? Okay, A. Well, thank you very much, Miss Rawat. Yes, that's the correct answer. Again, you said the passage was easy, remember? Okay, if you look at the line that starts with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, the 4th paragraph, what would happen if there were suddenly no more bees to pollinate these crops? This is a question being asked by farmers, beekeepers, and scientists because bees are now dying in their millions, and they want to know why. The passage does not tell us why. It's just they want to know why, and that's the end of the sentence. So we don't have a reason. Okay, so like Ms. Rawad correctly chose, it is actually not assessed in the, so it's hard to assess. They still need to know why. So neither A nor B nor C, and I think you're now realizing that the passage is not as easy as you thought. Okay, now let's move to question number 10. Why might bees end their hibernation at a different time? And the answer to this question, I think this should be easier than the last two. So what did you choose? A, B, C, D? Okay, waiting for your answers. Okay, to pollinate more flowers, to get more food, climate change, to emerge with other bees. What was your choice? You will actually find the answer in the second page, not in the first one if you're... Okay, C. Okay, Ms. Intasar C, Ms. Maisa C, Ms. Mahtar Muhammad, Ms. Basma C. Okay, anyone has any other different answer? Okay, very good, because actually C is the correct answer, climate change. This was an easy question. So again, as you see, there is a variety of questions, the level of the question. Some you would find easy to assess, and other you actually need to focus more and make sure that you've got the passage or the information there correctly. Okay, so thank you for sharing this exercise. And yes, they are tricky questions, Ms. Maisa. That's why we said reading, you have to think, okay? And it's an exercise that you keep practicing. So I want you to tell me, what did you expect before, or what did you expect after you answered the question? Do you expect that you've got all the answers correct? Just tell me yes or no. After you answer, were you like 100% sure you got them all correct? Ms. Maisa says yes. Okay, Mr. Islam, but for question 9, okay, before the last one, okay. Yes, but that's not, if you reread the passage, you realize that this is not the same reason. Okay, Miss Asma, no. Miss Shaima, yes. Miss Intasar, no. Do not sure, discuss all question. Yes, I thought so. Yes, again, why I'm asking you this question, because most of the students, even I have my daughter, when she finishes the comprehension text, And this is actually usually where most of the students come out of the exam and they tell you, I did excellent. I'm sure I answered all the questions correctly. Or they tell you, I think I just didn't answer anything correct. And usually they are mistaken, because we usually think that we have got the information correct. We have made the correct comprehension of the passage, or we understood the type of the question in the correct way. So again, we have to focus on the points that we said before. We have to focus, of course, about the time, and the text and the type of the question is very important. And we have to use our minds. We have to think. Don't just read the sentence and look where the answer is by just, like we said, copying and pasting the same sentence. No, try to understand the sentence and try to understand the meaning of the passage while you are reading. Don't just read for the sake of answering the question. You're actually trying to understand to answer the question. If you fail to get the point that we're actually trying to comprehend first, you probably answer the question and not in the correct way. Okay. So now we move to the question that we were talking about, that that we wanted you to discuss together in the room. Okay. Yes, Mr. Islam, you say you don't like the idea of reading challenging our intellect. Well, actually, it has to be challenging. You don't just challenge your intellect, you challenge all your senses. You challenge practicing the sense of your eyes, your mind. And this is very important for the students. It has to be challenging. If everything comes easy, they will not be able to have the information memorized in their minds, okay? Yes, that's true. But like we said, everything takes practice, okay? Okay. Now about the questions. What is different from the previous text? What did you find in this text different from the one before? Can you please type in the chat box, or if you have assigned someone to speak and you've point written, please raise your hands. Okay. Okay, I have your answer in the chat box. It had no subtitles. Yes. The first one was more historic. Yes. Yes, the first thing that you find that is different, that the first passage had titles and subtitles. This one had no subtitles. Mr. Ahmed says to the point. Ms. Basma the type. Yes. Ms. Maisa descriptive, no subtitles. Yes. Mr. Muhammad scientific. So the first thing that you would get, that it does not have except just the title, bees. Okay, no subtitles, no headings. So what do you think you should do in this case? Like you said, it's different from the passage. Yes, more advanced vocab. Yes, and longer sentences. This one is more interesting. Yes, thank you. It speaks about familiar subjects. Yes, so probably you have a prior knowledge. Okay, it has pre-reading question. Thank you very much, Ms. Badreya. So like we said, because this text is different, the way you will handle the text and the way you would raise questions with your students should be different, okay? The way the skills that are being tested should be different. Yes, Ms. Maitza, read the question first before reading. Yes, very good. Yes, because at the other passage, you could probably do the other way around. This is actually, people differ in this, but yes, you could read the question first. Different strategy to deal with Mr. Muhammad, yes. What do you think the strategy that you use? You said it's different. What did you do? Prior knowledge needs practice. The answer is not stated directly. Yes, that's true. Okay. So since there are no headings, no subtitles, what do we do in this case? What do you ask your students to do? If you have a text in front of you that does not have subtitles, does not have a picture or anything that would catch their eyes, what do you do? Predict a title, yes. Read details. Well, actually, Ms. Badreya, yes, reading details, that could be later on. But remember, we said we are controlled by time. Highlight the main idea, Ms. Shaima. Yes, try to put a title for each paragraph. That's very good tip. Thank you, Ms. Intisar. Give headings to paragraph. Yes, thank you, Mr. Islam. Very good. Read for details, underline key ideas. Excellent. Now, yes, try to read questions at first. Very good. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And also, if you see, since we don't have titles, we don't have headings, so what you would recommend your students to do is to read the first sentence in each paragraph. Okay, you can read the first sentence in each paragraph, would probably tell you what this paragraph is about. And you can read the first paragraph and the last paragraph, so you can have a main idea about the whole text. We don't have, as we said, titles, subtitles, so we make our own by just reading the first sentence, the last sentence, the first paragraph, the last paragraph, so we get the whole idea. Dividing the passage into parts, Mr. Muhammad, Miss Basma summarizing, yes. Miss Hala, yes, we divide the passage, exactly, yes, very good. Think about subtitle for each paragraph, exactly. That's what we should be doing before going through the text, so it would be easier for us. And that's what we should help our students to do. Before they tackle the text, you give them those tips, you tell them what they're supposed to do. Of course, this comes by practice. You have a different text, so you need a different strategy to apply to that text. It's not like the one before. If we have a passage where we have a picture, for example, it would be different. We will talk later on the next lectures about different passages that we would see, narrative and expository, because they would have different strategies to apply. And since you're primary, so we'll probably focus more on the narrative. To summarize the passage or wrap up. Yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to get from doing these exercises. I know maybe you didn't enjoy them all if you find it hard to answer or comprehend. But actually the main target was to understand how our students feel and how we should be able to make it easier for them. If you just give them tips at the start, and of course, like I said, we have to practice. Dr. Heba, if you please move to the next slide. And I'm really sorry about this internet thing. Okay, like I was just telling you, okay, remember when you teach your child to ride a bike, or even us when we were young and tried to ride a bike, it's actually hard at the start. It's not easy, okay? We find it hard, but time by time, by practicing and practicing again, you just don't think about it. Just keep pedaling. Just like driving even the car. When we first started driving a car, it was definitely hard. And then actually when you're going home or going work, you just don't think about it. You just find yourself driving, not even thinking about where to turn, right or left. It just comes easy and natural. So although reading, like we said, is not a natural skill, it's a skill that we need to develop. We want to develop it, so to somehow we make it easier and we make it comes in a natural way. Okay, that's the main target. So that only can be achieved by practicing more, by reading different types of text. And like we said before, to enhance the skills that we discussed at the beginning of the lecture, the vocab, and the vocab, the synonyms, the antonyms, underline things that you do not understand. I think, like I have heard in I think a couple of rooms, ask questions before they start. Try to ask them to predict. And even for smaller grades, sometimes you can ask them to try to imagine a different ending to the story. We will have this when we discuss the narrative. But this was just like a start for general reading and to like brainstorm, and to discuss how we can actually make reading easier. Now we come to where the lecture ends, but where there is a task, like we said before. After each lecture, there is a task. Dr. Heba, can please turn to the next slide? Thank you very much. Okay, we have a task after each lecture, and this is actually for your own good, so that we all memorize and we all benefit from one another. I just mentioned a couple of tips, but you can actually add and make more creative tips and more creative activity. It's always open to add anything new. So your task that you'd be asked to upload on the Google Classroom, and I've already sent you a message on it, and I've sent the Zoom meeting on it, so you can view the notification and view the video that was sent about the Google Classroom. Please, I want each one of you to upload a text that you're going to teach to your students. So even if it's French, if it's something scientific, if it's even any subject, it doesn't have to be English, but it's a text that you're going to read, but actually it has to be an English text, because like we said, this is an English lecture. Please upload this text, and please just write three tips that you will give your students before they are going to start reading the text. Okay, any questions you have in mind, like from what we have in the lecture, just give me based, of course, on the text, because every text should have, like we said, different skill, different strategy. So I want you to give me 3 tips, 3 questions you're going to ask your students, maybe 3 activities you're going to ask your students before they start reading the text and solving the answer, solving the questions, or even understanding the lesson. If it's not a comprehension lesson, it's just a text in front of them. So again, can you please tell me what is the task that you are supposed to upload? Please write in the chat box. Okay. Okay. I have not yet received anything. Please tell me what is the task that you're going to do? Yes, 3, yes, Ms. Ghada, thank you very much. 3 steps, 3 questions, 3 tips you're going to give your students. Comprehension with some questions, upload a text and mention 3 tips for them before reading. Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Dalia. Exactly, that's what the task that you should be doing. Okay, Ms. Asma, you want me to repeat again? Okay, please upload a text that you are going to teach to your students, whatever that text be it a comprehension text, a general reading text, and tell me when you are going to start teaching to your students, what are the tips that you are going to give to them before they start reading. These tips could be questions, could be kind of activity, could be brainstorming, could be predicting, could be vocab. That's up to you. Okay, and upload the text and write the suggestions and the tips you have. Okay. The next slide, Dr. Heba, please, have thank you on it. Thank you all for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the lecture. I enjoyed having the lecture with you, and I hope it would make things different for you and for the students, inshallah.
Mrs. Rania, we have a question from Ms. Nancy. She's asking if you need just the pre-reading questions only for the task.
Yes. I just need the pre-reading. Yes, the step number 1. Yes, the pre-reading.
Great.
Yes.
Guys, this is the Q&A part. So if you have a question, please raise your hand, and we will just allow you to speak if you would like to. So any questions? Questions? Any questions? No questions?
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Thank you, Ms. Maisa. Thank you, Ms. Hadir. Thank you, Ms. Heba, Ms. Dalia. Thank you, Mr. Islam. Thank you all very much. I hope I was not boring, and I hope you enjoyed the lecture. And actually, all we wish here at the Academy is that we all benefit from one another. And we hope we can make a change. That's all we are after.
We will make a change, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كده يعني أشكر حضراتكم جدا على وجودكم، وبشكر أختنا رانيا على مجهودها الكبير، وكل إخواتنا في الأكاديمي بصراحة يعني، لأن يعني أنتوا شفتوا رانيا، لكن في ورا رانيا ناس كتير برضو واقفة بتشتغل وبتدعم. إن شاء الله كل يوم هنقدم لكم حاجة كويسة، حاجة مفيدة. وأنا بحب دلوقتي يعني إن إحنا نقول لكم بصراحة يعني وجودكم فارق جدا، وبشكركم جدا على إن أنتوا كملتوا معانا الساعتين، ما حدش فيكم وقع ولا حاجة، دي حاجة حلوة. السيشن ريكوردد وهننزلها على اليوتيوب شانل، وبالمرة أنزل لكم اللينك بتاعها. أنا قفلتها. طيب على أساس إن أنتوا تشوفوا، هتتابعوا كل المحاضرات هنا إن شاء الله، ده اللينك بتاعنا، هننزل عليه كل محاضراتنا ان شاء الله. وبالمره بفكركم احنا عندنا ايه بكره. يلا مين الشاطر اللي هيقول عندنا ايه بكره؟ مين هيكتب الماتيريالز؟ حاضر يا مس رانيا. الله listen before you speak. برافو. بكره عندنا listen before you speak ولا جرامر؟ بكره عندنا جرامر. انتوا مش مذاكرين، بكره عندنا جرام فن. لا الانترنت كونكشن عندنا كلنا منيل والله، ما فيش مشكله، حصل خير. بكره عندنا جرام فن. ماشي يا بسمه. بكره عندنا جرام فن. ان شاء الله طبعا هنستناكم. وهنقدم الجرام فن بطريقه جديده وحلوه، كلها 7:30 يا مستر احمد. مستر رانيا الله يبارك لك، لو تنزل لهم بس البرزنتيشن، تعمل لهم PDF وتحطها لهم، الله يبارك لك عشان يستفيدوا.
Yes, sure, Mr. But I will upload it in Google Classroom because as you said, sorry guys, but just make the WhatsApp for emergency messages and so on. But regarding the material and everything, it would be uploaded in Google Classroom, inshallah. And it's very easy to communicate there, much easier for the two of us.
يعني ان شاء الله هيكون الدنيا اسهل شويه. نبتدي بقى ننظم نفسنا يا جماعه. احنا اي حاجه هنحطها لكم في الفور كورسز، حتى بالايلتس كمان لما يبدا. انا بعت لكم لينك اليوتيوب شانل اهو عشان هتلاقوا عليه السيشن النهارده كمان شويه. انت اي حاجه هنعملها ان شاء الله هتكون موجوده على ان شاء الله هنسجلها، يعني ربنا يسهل وما يحصلش اي مشكله. نحب نقول لكم بس ان بكره هيكون عندنا جرام فن، وده الكورس الثاني اللي هيبدا. ويوم الثلاث هيكون في كورس ثالث، ويوم الاربع هيكون في كورس رابع، والايلتس هيبدا بعدهم. بشكر الاشخاص اللي سجلت في المحاضره بتاعت يوم الجمعه. احنا عندنا يوم الجمعه محاضره زي ما انتم عارفين، وهتكون اون سايت اون كامبس، يعني بالحضور. وهتكون عباره عن how to make learning more fun عن طريق الاكتيفيتيز اللي احنا هنشتغلها. ان شاء الله هيكون يوم مش هيتنسي، يعني نتمنى من ربنا يعني انه يكون يوم حلو بوجودكم. فخلاص كده تقريبا انا هقفل الفورم، مش هنقدر نستقبل حد تاني، اصل العدد كده كبير قوي، فربنا يسهل. احنا بعتنا فورم يا فندم امبارح على الفيسبوك، بعتنا فورم على الفيسبوك وبعتنا فورم على الواتساب، وده كان يعني لو حضرتك عايز تشتركي المفروض تكوني تملي الفورم قبل ما نخلص. الناس اللي في الصعيد طبعا حبايبنا واخواتنا ما نقدرش ننساهم. ان شاء الله هعملها اونلاين حاضر، بس يعني ايه، يعني هتدونا بس ممكن 10 ايام، وهعملها لكم هي وان شاء الله كلنا نتبسط منها، لان فعلا احنا بنبقى محتاجينها جدا في الفصول، سواء كان اشتغلت اونلاين او اون سايت، الاثنين هيمشوا مع بعض. نستاذن حضراتكم بس في الحاجه الوحيده اللي يعني حابين ان انتوا تعملوها، ان انتوا تتابعوا الفيسبوك، الله يبارك لكم، عشان الواتساب الرسائل بتهرب منه. فتابع الفيسبوك واقرا الحاجات موجوده وشوف يعني عندنا ايه. ولو حابب ان انت تكتب كلمه في الريفيو هيكون يعني ده كرم من اخلاقكم. يعني الريفيوز على البيج يا ريت اكتب اللي انت عاوزه، مش هقول لك اكتب ان انا حلو وجميل وشاطر لا خالص. اكتب انت الاكسبيرينس بتاعتك معانا كانت ايه، هل استمتعت، اتبسطت، مش قد كده، محتاجين تعملوا لينك البيج. حاضر، حط لي يا بسمه لينك البيج، او هات اللينك كله، لينك البيج والفيسبوك ما هي البيج الفيسبوك، تويتر والفيسبوك الانستجرام، الثلاثه دول بس. ماشي خلاص، حاضر، موجود وشغالين نحط عليهم كل حاجه. لا يوم الجمعه مس غاده ده اون سايت، ده بالحضور. احنا متفقين مع اخت لينا في المقطم هتستضيفنا، في هي عندها فيلا مشغلاها خدمات تعليميه، هتستضيفنا ان شاء الله، فهي بالحضور يوم الجمعه. واللي مش هيحضر يوم الجمعه هيفوتوا كتير. أنا مش عايز اتكلم بس عشان خاطر اخواتنا اللي مش موجودين في القاهره هيموتونا. حضرتك في الكويت خلاص اعزمينا، مفيش مشكله، انا جاهز، ممكن اجي الكويت في اي وقت، اعزمينا واحنا جايين نيجي نعمل لكم السيشن. اللي بره مصر كده كده انا موجود في جده، فلو انتم موجودين في جده ممكن نعمل حاجات في جده اون سايت، وهنروح نعمل في الرياض برضو. ماشي. الرياض امتى؟ والله هقول حاضر هقول، بس لسه ما ارجع، انا اصلا انا في مصر مش عارف ارجع. المفروض نرجع كمان 10 ايام ولا حاجه، فاول ما نرجع ان شاء الله هيكون لينا ميعاد في الرياض، هنظبط الدنيا. وطبعا احنا عندنا ناس كتير شغالين في الرياض، فالدنيا خير يعني. آم، فربنا يسهل والدنيا تبقى مظبوطه كده. طب اعمل حاجه بس بسرعه، ماشي؟ ادي اللينكس كلها موجوده عندك الفيسبوك وتويتر وانستجرام والتليجرام. وان شاء الله كلهم بيطلع عليهم نفس الخدمه يعني. يبقى كده انا فكرتك، بكره عندنا جرام فان، يوم الثلاثاء عندنا listen before you speak، ويوم الاربعاء عندنا الفونetics. المحاضرات كلها بالانجلش، فلو حضرتك مدرس حاجه غير انجلش واللغه بتاعتك حلوه طبعا شرفنا تستفيد. لو مش مدرس، لو مدرس حاجه غير انجلش واللغه عندك مش قد كده، هنتصرف دلوقتي بس نعرض على الجماعه الفكره وان شاء الله هنفاجئكم. آه، والله يا استاذه نانسي الايميلات دي احنا بعتناها، يعني انا بعت والله الايميلات والناس موجوده في الجروب، بس اي حد عنده مشكله بصوا كده، بصوا على الشات. ده رقمي، ابعت لي عليه واتساب اي حاجه ناقصاك، ابعت لي وانا هبعتها لك، مفيش مشكله خالص. عايزين ايه على الجروب؟ لو سمحتوا اللي موجود، مين موجود؟ بس ما انت موجوده في الريدنج، ابعتي لينك الجوجل كلاس روم لوحده، وهم كده كده موجودين في الواتساب، فخلاص مش محتاجين نبعت لهم الواتساب. تمام كده، مفيش مشكله، المواضيع كلها سهله يعني. بعتنا لكم الفيديو بتاع ازاي تستخدم الجوجل كلاس روم از ليرنر، وبعتنا لكم ازاي تستخدم جوجل كلاس روم از تيتشر. ده فيديو كبير شويه بتاع التيتشر، تتفرج عليه عشان تستخدمه. بلاتفورم ببلاش، الناس اللي حابه يكون ليها ستايل كده وهي بتدرس وتدخل الطلبه بتوعها يعني اعمل لنفسك ستايل بدون ما تدفع فلوس. الناس بتروح تدفع فلوس عشان تاخد بلاتفورم ويبقى فيه اوبشنز وحاجات، جوجل كلاس روم موفرها، استخدمه وانت اولى يعني. ف ما تنسوش بقى يعني، يا ريت لو تشيل السليم ده، يا ريت لو هتدخل على الفيسبوك، يعني لو هتكتب لنا ريفيو احنا بنهتم، هتكتب ريفيو تقول والله يا جماعه انتوا عندكم كذا وكذا ويا ريت تعملوا كذا وكذا، دي حاجه حلوه برضو احنا نحبها منكم. ونشوفكم على خير، ميعادنا بكره ما تنسوش، احنا كده كل يوم حد الكورس ده، كل يوم اثنين الكورس بتاع بكره، كل يوم ثلاث الكورس بتاع الثلاث اند سو اون لمده 4 مرات. وما ننساش ان يوم الثلاث هننزل لكم تفاصيل، يوم الثلاث هننزل لكم تفاصيل بتاعه بتاعه ايه؟ بتاعه الكورس بتاع الطلبه، تفاصيل كورس الطلبه. يعني لو انت عندك، لو اولاد او ولاد اخواتك، هنعمل كورسز للطلبه مجانيه برضو ان شاء الله، هتكون مفيده. فهنبعت لكم الفورم بتاعتها يوم الثلاث، بحيث ان الاسبوع الجاي ان شاء الله نبتدي نقدر ننزل. السيشن، انت حضرتك دلوقتي موجوده معانا استاذه بدريه، هو ده السيشن بتاع الريدنج كل مره. السيشن بتاع بكره احنا بعتناها ايميل، لو ما وصلكوش ايميل اللي بيبعت لي على الواتساب ببعت له على طول. شكرا لكم، معلش سهرناكم، ويعني ربنا يبارك لكم ويجازيكم كل خير. شكرا لترحيبكم برانيا، هنقول ترحيبكم بينا، عشان طالما رحبت برانيا انت بترحب بينا، احنا كلنا واحد الحمد لله. ونشوفكم دايما في كل مناسبة كويسة، وجزاكم الله كل خير. بس ما تبقاش في حاجة، انت مفيش دعوة. ماشي، شكرا، مع السلامة. ماشي يا آية، ازيك آية؟ طبعا من عمان، عاملة ايه؟ شكرا لحضورك. شكرا أستاذة أسماء. باي باي، السلام عليكم.